How are you?
I'm
Thank
fine.
you.
Okay, now let's start the conversation with consultants. Episode 56. Moving ahead, I'm Rima Kumari, HR Associate and ECR Coordinator of SKMG.
Okay, yeah, please.
Good evening. I am Pooja Kumari, HR Associates and OD Coordinator of SK Associates and Group. We both are in host for today's talk show. So please kindly introduce yourself.
Sorry?
Please kindly introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Dr. Tamanna Khosla, and I did my bachelor's from Lady Shriram College in political science, and then I went on to do my master's, MPhil, PhD from JNU in political theory, which the topic was multiculturalism and feminism. After that, I started writing books. So I went on to write. My first book was based on my thesis, which was on personal laws, and it was basically a law based book. And मतलब उसको करने के लिए मतलब इनॉग्रेट करने के लिए दीपक मिश्रा जी आए थे. The judge, in LSR it got launched, and it was like it was launched there. And then I wrote several other books on feminism, Feminist Manifesto. My books have got translated into most of the European languages, you know like Portuguese, Dutch, French, Italian, etc., Russian. Most of the books, it's still to be translated in Hindi, because Indians are like slightly backward about all these things, like, because foreigners are like Chinese. It's also in the Chinese market. Japanese में translate हुआ है. जापानीज में भी ट्रांसलेट हुआ है मेरा बुक्स. 3-4 बुक्स है मेरा बुक्स जो वो ट्रांसलेट हुआ है. एंड सो I did that. Then now I'm doing law. It's going to be my third year, so it's going to get over now, and I'm going to practice now on and on. So yeah, that's something. Yeah.
It sounds good. Moving ahead, the only things that stand between you and your dream is the will to try and believe that is actually possible. It's a beautiful quote quoted by Joel Brown. So, with this quote, I would like to bring our talk show named Conversation with Consultants with episode 56 of our guest talk series.
Before we begin our talk, so let me briefly introduce SK Associates and Group. We are an ISO certified management consulting firm registered under the MSMET Act uh, 2006 with the Government of India. Our mission is to provide consulting services to student entrepreneurs globally, covering areas such as compliance, operations, marketing, research and development, human capital strategy and operations. Our passion lies in helping these budding entrepreneurs bring their dreams to life and contribute to global economic growth.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Entrepreneurship is a catalyst for change and innovation. It's a powerful force that can reshape industries, transform lives, and make the world a better place. We are committed to supporting student entrepreneurs on their journey, equipping them with the tools, knowledge, network they need to succeed.
Now, before we begin our show, let's take a moment to introduce our guest for today. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome Ms. Tamanna Khosla, Director of Prajanar Initiative, to this special event. We are truly honored by your presence today, and we are thrilled to have you share this momentous occasion with you. We would like to start this interview with our first question for you. So, your first question is, do you think all entrepreneurs drop out of college?
Uh, well, as far as India is concerned, it's slightly less, but I guess it's more in US and UK, I mean, these kind of things, Bill Gates, for example, Steve Jobs, they left colleges and, like they started off with their own businesses, etc. And, they did amazingly well. So, I mean, out here, our parents are more interested in education and, to complete our education, etc. So our parents insist that we should finish our education, for example. So it's like it's slightly less, but the trend is still catching up in India. So, I mean, your company can really support students, who are not I mean, the government is supporting these things now. I mean, if you see the Modi government, for example, I mean, they are supporting startups. And, you have, I mean, I'm sure you must have seen some TV serials, for example, where students in their 12th, 11th, they're like bringing up science projects, etc., to bring about changes in situations of world, for example. So yeah, I guess it's still we are still behind, but like I guess we are picking up. Yeah.
Moving ahead, next question is, have you ever thought you need $1 million idea to start?
uh I don't think you need $1 million coach
Yeah.
like yeah, you I guess you have to be consistent in whatever you do. You have to be very um innovative, and I mean, you only then can you have a idea which is $1 million idea, which is like only when we all feel that, I have an idea which is like which is different, which is marketable, which is something which is like which somebody else does not have, which I have. For example, as an individual, I have a quality. When I write my books, for example, I mean, I do it in a way which is looking at the society. I mean, how our parents are, etc. For example, in India, and then compare it with US, so that becomes an original idea. So, those kind of ideas can be sold to the government, for example. I mean, the books can be sold to the government, and, it can become a Nobel Prize winner, Booker Prize winner, because it's a different idea. It's not been sold as such, and in India, for example, we have a very different kind of a culture. I mean, even our generation, your generation, for example, I mean, we still rely on our parents a lot, and and we stay with our parents till the time we don't get married, etc. So when we write our books, we when I write my books, I mean, I see to it that, I kind of am there's an amalgam of this system whereby we can have a society which is borrowing from different countries and becoming a progressive society. Yeah.
Very nice, ma'am. Moving at next question. Do you think starting a business means risking everything you want?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess because actually, firstly, as Rima was also asking me the question, I mean, you we have to start with minimal money, because students don't have so much money with them. So, like, I mean, obviously, they'll take support from their parents, or from the banks, etc. But obviously, government is supporting these kind of things right now. But you don't need too much of money, etc., but like a different idea. a logical idea, which is like, uh, if for example, today I am in Prajna Initiative. We have uh, AI based. We are a AI based company. You know, and we mix physics, math, social sciences, uh, politics, governance, etc. We use our technology to be utilized in these areas, etc. So it's like an amalgam of different subjects. So we are using it in schools, we are using it in hospitals, we are using it in government, we are using it in elections. So we are using it everywhere. So it's still being sold. My ideas are being sold. We want to sell our ideas. We have made a company now, but we need support. Yeah.
It's nice. Moving ahead, next question is: are you waiting for the perfect time to start a business?
uh Yeah, in a way, because right now I'm busy with law, but obviously Prajna Initiative is there when we are working on it, as of now. And what we need to do is, we are wanting funds for our brilliant idea. I mean, it can be a Nobel prize winning idea, what we have right now. And so I guess, we are using it in elections, we are using it in governments, and so we use colors, pictures, and for example, I'll just give you an idea. For example, in a school, um right now, how we judge students, in report cards. But what Prajna Initiative does is that, we use colors. For example, if suppose Rima is good in math, so we'll use a color purple, you know to show that, she's good in. But if Rima Pooja, for example, is not good in sports, so we'll use the color purple. And so it's easy for everybody to understand, and there is no problem as far as to understand what the logic of the child is. So we can psychologically, even in the child psychology, you can use it. So it's like that. Yeah.
Very nice, ma'am. Moving on, next question. Can you name a single successful company that did not pivot from its original idea?
I didn't get your question. What is the question?
Can you name a single successful company that didn't pivot from its original idea?
I guess Microsoft. I mean, Microsoft is there, and then SpaceX is there, and many of the companies, we started with something else and they became something else, and so many of these companies are there right now, and I guess Reliance is there. I mean, um, they spread around in almost everywhere, from oil, petroleum to, to schools, the Ambani school, for example. So I guess, that's very promising, actually, when you move from one sector to spreading into different sectors. So I guess that's very interesting. And and from computers to AI to hospitals, to diagnosis, to many of these companies have done it. And people who, pharmaceutical industries, for example, they are doing it. So I guess in India too, we have Ambanis and the Adanis who are doing it, and they're like from a small company to $1 million company, you know, like they have spread out. So yeah.
Okay, your next question is, what if all successful entrepreneurs had average beginnings?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you know, as far as myself I'm concerned, I wasn't a very, I was a very bright child. My teachers in my first class said that, you know, she's going to become something. In my seventh class, my teacher said, you know, she's going to become something very good. But you know, I mean, I was not coming as a first or second in my class. I used to come around 10th, you know. I mean, in my class, I mean, in my college I did well, but like I wasn't like a topper in my class. Similarly in my MA. But as I was growing, I was becoming better and better, you know. I mean, in my MPhil I got an A plus. So I mean, as I was growing older, I was becoming better. So I could understand concepts better, and you know, I was becoming better. So I guess you don't have to be like really, you know, A divisioner to become something great. You have to have something innovative in your soul. You know, I mean, your soul should be wanting to do something which is different, you know. I mean, something which is like which is different from others. You know, you have to be as a person different from others. So you know, that should be your soul, that you know, I'm not going to do like the way my neighbor is going to do, or like my friend is going to do. So I mean, I am like that. So I mean, I mean, I'm not the best, but like, I mean, I'm different. I'll define myself like that. I'm different. So from people, from my friends, from everybody, I'm very different. So yeah.
Okay, have you ever thought failure might actually be feedback in disguise?
Absolutely. Brilliant question. Brilliant question. Actually, it happens. You know, because I guess failures, if you think you failed, you failed. If you think this is the starting point for my next journey, then you are somebody who is going to be able to do something much better. So I guess what we need to understand is that we are not somebody, you know, who is I mean, we have, like, failures are only steps to rise in your careers. So you know, you should not feel disgusted that, you know, I started this company and it failed. Start with something else, you know. You know, for example, and keep learning. You know, I mean, for example, I'm learning. I am a PhD. I'm doing law now. I mean, I hope I have my business. So you know, so those kind of things are there, but like, we are still progressing, you know, in our business, and you know, we are spreading it across the world, and we are aiming for a Nobel. So you know, like, if you have high ideas, only then can you achieve something. Failures, no stopping. Nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you.
It sounds good. Moving ahead, your next question is failure really the opposite of success or the part of it?
uh it's a part of it, actually, you know. I mean, it's not an opposite to it. It's a part of it, you know. I mean, most of them, Steve Jobs, for example, you know, I mean, you know, they are dropouts, you know. So obviously, nobody likes being somebody who is a dropout from a college, you know. But somebody's calls are so imminent, you know. किसी का कॉल इतना imminent होता है कि हमको कुछ करना करके दिखाना है लाइफ में. कि वो कर ही नहीं पाते हैं, मतलब लाइक they aren't able to um, sustain failures in a way. So failure, for example, I mean, I guess, I mean, for example, if I have to give my example, I'm an independent scholar. I'm working independently. Absolutely. I'm not taking funds from anybody right now. So, I mean, as an independent scholar, I have been asked to train students as independent scholars. People who are not dependent on anybody, that you'll come and help me, my teacher is going to come and help me or something. I mean, so I'm an independent scholar. So I guess, even in the business, for example, I mean, as an independent entrepreneur, I mean, helping people understand, that independence is extremely important. And so yeah.
Okay, what about a business degree? Is that mandatory?
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, in Prajna Initiative, for example, we have people from science, we have people from law, we have people from social sciences background, every background. But I mean, students are there, who are in 12th, for example, in senior secondary, for example. So we are helping people, younger people come in Prajna Initiative, and help us with their brains, and so I guess, you don't need a degree. You have to have an aim, you have to have a thought, you have to have a dream, that I am going to do different. So you have people who, I mean, as you both were asking me questions regarding, I mean, can you be a dropout or something, so yeah, you can be a dropout, and you can establish yourself amazingly well. So yeah.
Moving ahead, the next question is: do you think you need investors to launch?
Well, it's a great help. I mean, if they do help, I mean, we need help actually. So I mean, that's extremely important. We are looking for help, and but I don't know, like, if we could sustain ourselves in a way, that would be good. But if we could, get help from investors, for example, we are looking for investors, Rima. So I guess, then we'll be very obliged, we'll be very happy that there are people who are like supporting our idea. We are selling our idea actually right now. So I mean, it's taking time, but like we will succeed. Yeah.
Moving on, next question. What if I told you being too young or too old is just another excuse?
Yes, absolutely. You can be an 80-year-old and you can have your own ideas. You can be a 12-year-old and you can be doing a PhD. We have some rare students, who have done PhDs at the level of 12th class, for example, and then they got into businesses, etc. They established their own telescope, for example, many of those things. There are people who are like 70 plus, 80 plus, for example, and they are establishing their own businesses. So there's nothing like, I guess, what we need is an idea which does not let us sleep. I mean, we are not able to sleep, that I want to get up in the morning. For example, many times in my, with me, I mean, I get such brilliant ideas that I get up at 3 in the morning, and then I just start penning them down. So I guess, there is nothing like age in business, in entrepreneurship, or any subject, for example, I mean, be it my own subject, for example, I have written 8 books right now. I mean, I aim to write several others. So yeah.
Nice. Uh, Moving ahead, your next question is: do you think introverts can't lead companies?
I'm sorry, your voice is breaking, sorry.
Do you think introverts can't lead companies?
No, no, I don't think so, Purima, because I'm an introvert. So I guess I don't think so. Like introverts can't lead industries. They surely can, and I guess they have more brains than the extroverts, because extroverts are like always talking, talking, talking. They are not thinking, but introverts are the ones who are like really thinking hard. Like they are like in they're like constantly thinking about how to get their work done, and they are like alone in their own space, like so I guess introverts are much better than extroverts. I mean, I understand that extroverts can have a lot of networks. That networking thing is there, but like still, people who have to find you. I mean, my partner, Daniel Smith, for example, from USA, he called me once. He said, "I want people who are smarter than me. I don't want people who are under smarter than me. I want people like smarter than me. So I want you to come to me." So yeah, so that's the whole thing. I guess introverts can do very well. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Moving ahead, next question. Or do they or do they build team, find mentors, learn from others?
Absolutely, absolutely, because like you can't do anything without learning from your team. I mean, because everybody has a different I guess everybody has a different vision, and everybody has a different way of looking at things. So I mean, if I mean, I need to have a diverse team, which is like from different backgrounds, from physics, chemistry, history, political science, and many different streams, astrology, astronomy, um, uh, Hindi, French. I mean, we need. I mean, personally, I would feel like philosophy, for example. I mean, that would be the top at the top list for of my subject areas concerns. And AI, for example, right now, we need it the most. So I guess we need several subjects to come together to be able to build a system, a company, industry, for example. And I mean, everybody is of help. You can't say that this subject is not of help. Every subject is of help. And I mean, for example, in space, Sunita William, for example, so I mean, you learn, for example, how to save yourself in space, for example. How do you take care of your health? So every field, for example, requires different subjects to come together. So I guess, yeah.
Your next question is: do entrepreneurs really work alone? Do entrepreneurs really work alone?
uh as far as I'm concerned, I'm very consistent, but I don't I mean, I'm not like the whole day I'm not engaged with my work. But I'm an early riser. I rise early and I sleep early. And but I mean, I don't work like as a workaholic, but I read a lot of books which are like of different streams. For example, when I'm doing my subject law, so I buy for fictions, for example, of law, to read them, and my subject books, for example, and so I don't think personally, as a child also I was very hardworking or something. I wasn't, but I was very consistent. I was very particular about my, I mean, I had a dream which was my own. I mean, if I remember myself as a 4-year old, I mean, my parents used to tell me, and I remember very well, I used to sit outside my home, and I used to make a telescope out of a glass paper, and I used to look at the stars. I used to say, I'll become an astronomer. I want to do something of that sort. So I was very I mean, I had dreams, I might say, and to fulfill them, I could do anything. So I am hardworking, definitely. I mean, all people around me would say I'm very hardworking, but still, I feel I need to do more hard work. Yeah.
Okay, moving to next question. Could a part-time side hustle become a full-time business?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. It can become, because what uh, part-time businesses, when they start, probably because that time you don't have so much of resources, etc. But once you get resources, you have your funds in place, you can have like you can have full-time businesses. I mean, for example, if you look at Dhirubhai Ambani, I mean, he was, what was he when he started? He was nothing. So I guess as a part-time person he started, and then he built up whole business. Similarly with Steve Jobs, for example, so started with a very small computer system, and then rose to somebody who was a billionaire. So I guess that's the whole thing. So dream is a must. आप ड्रीम नहीं करोगे तो आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते हो. आपके लाइफ में ड्रीम होना बहुत जरूरी है कि मेरे को ये करना है. मैं इस जॉब में खुश नहीं हूँ, मैं मेरे को कुछ करना है. आई मीन, सम पीपल आर हैप्पी विद गेटिंग अ 1 लाख or 2 lakh or 3 lakh or 6 lakhs, but there are others who are saying, I'm not talking about money. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. There are many things which are more than money. I mean, a dream is more than money. You might want something more out of your life, before you die. You want to do something which is like um very different from others. So yeah.
Right. Moving to the next question is not passion supposed to be
Sorry, your voice is breaking.
is not passion supposed to be enough to succeed?
uh Passion is absolute necessity, is an absolute necessity. I mean, I am extremely passionate about my work. I mean, extremely passionate. And I mean, whatever I do, I mean, I'm a multifaceted person. I do a lot of things, together. I mean, so I mean, I listen to many. I participate in several webinars. I mean, even if I don't have time, I do that. I take the effort to do that. I watch several news channels, international channels, for example, RT, etc. Chinese, CCTN, etc. To understand, the news worldwide. So I mean, I guess I do that. I mean, I'm not like somebody who's like in just stuck to one thing. So I do several things at one pace. And so yeah.
Okay, moving on next question. How many great businesses started in garage, dorms, or coffee shop, not boardrooms?
Yes, brilliant question. Yeah. So, I mean, I mean, as far as our business is concerned, I mean, it's in Maine, US, for example. The person who has started it, and he's like, he started it in his own home, and now it's spread out everywhere, so I guess that's true. Actually, it's true. Many businesses can start in garages rather than boardrooms. So, I mean, if suppose, for example, you have a father who's a billionaire, and he can support you, that's another thing. But not everybody's as lucky. I mean, people like you and I, we have to struggle for everything, and I guess people who struggle are the ones who succeed. If we do not struggle, we will never succeed. So, struggle is the key for any business to succeed. So, yeah.
Can you build a business and still have a life?
Absolutely, you can have a life. I mean, but right now I don't have because I I am too busy giving my exam. My exams are starting from 13th of this month, and they're continuing till the 27th. So I'm just busy with that, and then keep writing my books. So I'm writing a book on right now on BNS, which is like Bharatiya Sanhita, and IP, इंडियन पिनल कोड का जो ट्रांसलेट हुआ है बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट से, तो मैं वो कर रही हूँ अभी। उनका नया बुक निकाल रहे हैं, तो आई गेस सो पर्सनल लाइफ स्लाइटली डिफिकल्ट बट नॉट इम्पॉसिबल।
Great. Should not success be measured in more than just money?
Absolutely, I mean, personally, I feel, money is not everything, I mean, the world right now thinks money is everything, but I don't think so. Money is everything. What you need is, I guess, you need something more than money, which is called spirituality. I guess, I mean, all of us are not here forever. We are going to die. And so people who are younger than me can die earlier. The people who are older than me can live more than us, or I mean, any of whatever God has decided for us. So I guess spirituality worldwide needs to be spread out. And like, people, why do people go to temples? Many of them rich people, for example, they go for money. But I personally feel that, it's money is not everything. I mean, spirituality is everything. And I guess that should be taught in schools. But the problem is, when you teach them in schools, you teach them religion wise. So that's a problem. Either you teach them all the religions or teach them none. And for example, many of the scientists, Einstein, for example, said that, God is there. I mean, Stephen Hawking said that. The world's best scientists have said that. So I guess spirituality is something which is deeply inside me. I'm a very spiritual person. I look at God for every help, every uh, idea, everything, every help. I don't take it from anybody. I take it from Him. Yeah.
Okay, moving ahead, your next question is entrepreneurship only for the brave or just for the prepared?
It's for the brave, and
Or just for the prepared?
I guess it is for the brave. Yeah. You have to be extremely brave because you'll have many
Not
hurdles in
brave,
between.
prepared.
Sorry.
Not brave, prepared.
um I'm sorry, I didn't get the question at all. Sorry.
कोई बात नहीं. Is entrepreneurship only for the brave or just for the prepared?
Yeah, you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared to be brave, as well as you have to be prepared for being having seen failures. Many of these things have to be seen, and uh, you have to be brave because you'll face several failures in between. So you have to be prepared to understand that you will fail in between, and you probably you'll run out of money, for example. At sometimes you might get a gap of 2 3 years, but you have to be very pursuant. You have to be very you have to pursue your dream relentlessly. You have to be like very that okay, if this is not working, then this will work. So you have to be prepared that don't think that the first business I start is going to succeed. So probably I need to expand myself, and so I guess preparedness is must. Yeah, not just brave. You have to be brave. For example, obviously, you have to be brave because these things are not for timid people. People who are unable to have, for example, a dream which does not let them sleep. So you can't be somebody who is like, if somebody says no to me, I say okay, it's okay, no. You'll say no, okay, if you don't help me, somebody else will. My idea is not going to be sold to you, it's going to be sold to somebody else. So yeah, so you have to be prepared.
Can fear and uncertainty actually be sign that you are growing?
Brilliant. Actually, if you feel that fear, etc., they can I mean, how should I explain this? Because when you have fear about something, you try more. You you sustain yourself more, that you have to have a system whereby failures do not deter you. So I guess that is the whole thing. So yeah, yeah.
Okay, your next question is, what if the biggest risks in never starting at all?
Oh yeah, that's the biggest risk. I mean, if you don't start, you will never reach anywhere. So yeah, so I mean, you have to have a system whereby you start something, and reach somewhere. You have to have the conviction that first of all, you should have the right partner. I mean, you shouldn't have a partner who is like fleecing money from you, and you are like left without any money. So you have to be smart. Smartness right now is a key word. You have to be very very smart. So I guess if you're not smart, you will not succeed. So that is the whole thing. And I guess some parents teach this to children to be taught, but sometimes it's innate. So when my friends tell me that you are very smart, I haven't been taught. I was born like that. I mean, ambitious. My teachers in my MPhil PhD told that she is extremely ambitious. So not just in my studies, I'm ambitious as such. So yeah.
Okay, your last question is waiting for certainty a trap disguised as caution?
I didn't get your question. What is the question?
Is waiting for certainty a trap disguised as caution?
Yeah, it's actually a caution, because you are like waiting for something to happen, and I mean, you are cautious about many things, that this shouldn't fail or that shouldn't fail. But what really we need is that we should have a passionate interest in things, so that we are able to be not just cautious, but also very entrepreneurial. So both these things should go together. So, yeah.
Okay, one more last question. So, what's your excuse and what are you going to do about it?
Uh, I don't think I have any excuse, because I am very hardworking, and as much as possible I do it from my side, and like I don't I take risks. For example, I don't wait for some opportunity to come to me. I go to the opportunity. And I mean, I have my dreams which do not let me sleep. For example, I love, I mean, I love reading. I mean, I can't live without reading, for example. So I have to be, I keep buying books. Many times I'm unable to read them, because I have other things to do. So I guess that's all thing. So I have lots and lots of dreams. So I guess before I die, yeah, I'll fulfill them for sure.
Okay, very nice. Moving ahead, we would like to express our sincere gratitude, Ms. Tamanna Khosla, Director of Prajna Initiative, being our guest for today's conversation with consultants. Your presence and engagement helped to make it a success. Thank you for providing insight into your inspirational journey. Once again, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Rima. Thank you so much, Pooja. You were brilliant. Your questions were too good. Very nice. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Further, we could also like to thank our audience for listening patiently throughout the event. Thank you everyone for joining with us today. Hope that everyone has gained some knowledge from this event. Looking ahead, we are excited to announce that our next episode, 57 of Conversation with Consultants, will be held next weekend. We hope to see you all there. Thank you again, and we look forward to reconnecting with you next week. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us all social media handles. Thank you. Goodbye and have a great day ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Bye.